Today we're going to give you our first look at the FUJIFILM X-T30 III
and the brand new 13 to 33 lens. I think Fuji's actually having a lot of fun with the cameras. I mean, it's an X-T30 version 3 with a 13 to 33. I know there's some superstition around the number 3, however, they've packed a lot into this camera.
It's definitely integrated in it. And of course, we're excited about the third iteration of this series. So it's been a fun system to use, as Dave mentioned. And you just happened to do a video about Fujifilm being onto something with cameras being fun. And so today we're going to talk about some of our first impressions of this new release, some of the things that they've added to it, some changes that they've made, and what our initial thoughts are.
So the X-T30 series has always been sort of the epitome for me of what a mirrorless compact enthusiast camera should be. It's fairly small, really lightweight, but still gives you all the functionality that you want, but maybe not the same level as a much higher end camera like an X-T5.
Yeah, this is obviously a lot more compact. It's coming in at 378 grams for the body. And you know, this camera is very tiny, but it's also still stylish. And as Dave mentioned, you have a lot of control with it. You'll notice on the top of the camera, you actually have a dedicated film simulation dial where you can go through a lot of Fujifilm's dedicated film simulations, as well as do some programming for your own flavor, your own...
And Fuji's really pushing hard on this. I mean, there's got to be a demand for it. And we find ourselves, we always talk about how Fuji's the only camera that we actually play around with the film simulations. Other brands, we don't really care about the black and white mode or the sepia mode, right? It's Fuji's got their dialing in.
Fujifilm, yeah, I think they're still king for that for sure. But I do have to say that it's nice to have a lot of the other controls here too. You have a dedicated shutter speed dial on the front, like the previous generations, and then the front and back command dials as well. So you can cycle between adjusting your ISO and your aperture. Now with this lens, we have the new kit lens, the 13 to 33 millimeter lens, which does not have an aperturing on the front of it. Now I love to pair the Fujifilm X-T30 series with a lens that has an aperturing because I think it just makes the whole experience a little bit more smooth for doing manual exposure operation. But because you have the front and rear command dial, it's definitely doable.
Yeah, I mean, this 13 to 33 lens is a really practical range. It's a nice little zoom range with it. But yeah, throw a 23 mm f2 lens on there. That's where I think where this system really comes into play. You get the aperture ring there and my favorite focal length.
Yeah, now we of course like this finish on the camera. It is the dark chrome look to it. It's very sexy, very nice, and we're enjoying the experience of using it. It feels really balanced, and it's pretty much pocketable. In a coat pocket, you can throw it in there. Today we have a PG Tech wrist strap on the camera as well, and just the experience of using it is quite nice. And the ergonomics, all right, you do have some nice grip to hold on to. It's a nice texture, but let's also talk about the experience of having a more compact camera with an EVF. I love that they've maintained this. We have the 2.36 million dot electronic viewfinder, as well as a tiltable 3-inch LCD screen. It
all adds to the functionality of this camera. I mean, this is one I'm going to take with me if I'm going backpacking or camping, or I want something small, light family camera, where I'm not taking it as seriously as I am with a larger camera system, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. This camera fits in my pocket and delivers some really nice results.
Yeah, we also have the joystick on the back of the camera, the quick menu, and so if you're someone that has looked at Fujifilm cameras before, they've maintained a lot of those ergonomics and functionality in the design. So let's get into some of the other internal features of this camera, Dave.
All right, Evelyn, before we jump into inside of the camera here and the sensor and the processor and that kind of stuff, there's a couple features here that really lend itself to this level of camera. Really sort of that step up from point shoot style cameras, where things like a built-in flash, which you don't see in that many cameras anymore, which is a really nice little handy feature, and a dedicated auto switch here. So it's a one switch to go into complete auto. And I can switch that off if I want to explore it a little bit more, but it really lends itself to the market this camera is going for.
Yeah, I also have to say that from the battery, oh no, from that also reminds me about the battery and the media for this camera that we haven't touched on yet. So we still have an NPW126S battery. I've always said it's a really good idea to have at least one extra spare for a smaller battery like this. And then for media, we have a UHS-1 SD memory card slot. Really affordable media. We don't need anything super fast for the performance of this camera. And then on the port side of it, we have a USB-C port for charging the camera. And then we have a 2.5mm jack jack here that can be used for the remote, or you can also use that for some microphones.
Now I'm a little bit surprised they just don't give us 3.5 jacks for both the headphones and for the microphone, rather than having to deal with the dongle with the USB-C converter. But I guess we'll see that in the next generation possibly.
Yeah, again, it's all about the size, I think, the compactness, and so you do have that as a minor sacrifice for having this nice, sleek, compact camera. One of the constants that we've liked about Fujifilm cameras for a while is their sensors, and this has the 26 megapixel backside illuminated X-Trans sensor, and there's no surprises here, but we're liking the image quality.
Yeah, Fuji's got a distinct look because of the X-Trans sensor over some other manufacturers, and it looks great. You know, we love the colors that we're getting out of Fuji, and of course with the film simulations, right? We have a lot of great quality when it comes to that sensor.
We have the X Processor 5 in this camera as well. So we're getting all of the latest tech from Fujifilm for the X series lineup. This carries on with the autofocus system, the performance, the video functionality, which we're going to touch on here shortly. But all of the features kind of lend itself well to being the next upgrade and the next generation in this series. And we're welcoming it, of course, because having the latest autofocus technology is really great. It just helps with your overall performance. And we're able to shoot here with 8 frames per second mechanical or 20 frames per second in electronic.
Yeah, now it's a camera that I don't really think about when I'm shooting sports or action. It's more of that family camera, that capture everything camera, but not that high performance so much, but it is there if you want to take advantage of it. Another
great advantage of having this new processor is being able to shoot in all of the latest video settings. So we're really excited about having 422 10-bit footage, for having really nice clear looking video footage, but also being able to shoot in 6.2 open gate. And this is very handy for people that are shooting and putting their content up on a variety of platforms. You're able to edit it a lot smoother, and it gives you that full sensor ability.
Now this is a camera that lends itself to perfectly for doing content creation as I'm traveling around, but keep in mind there's no in-body image stabilization with this Fujifilm camera, so it does require a little bit of a crop if you're going to go to a digital stabilization. All right, Evelyn, you're holding a lot of 3s in your hand there right now with the naming convention that Fujifilm has put into that. But there are 3 things that I do really like about this camera. I really like the size and weight of it. I find it's so comfortable and easy to carry around. I don't need to worry too much about it at all. I also like the fact the film simulation dial is becoming dedicated. I was a little unsure about that when they first started putting it into their cameras, but I find myself using it way more than I thought I would. And I also like that they included the built-in pop-up flash. It's tiny, it's not great for big distance or anything like that, but I find myself having it and popping it up more often than I thought.
You know, with this 13 to 33 millimeter lens, I'm loving the focal length. That 20 to 50 millimeter equivalent is really nice, flexible, give you some versatility. I think makes a great kit lens. Me personally, I love having the dedicated aperture ring on my lens. I think it really completes the system and gives you a little bit more of that manual tactile experience that I really like about Fujifilm cameras. Otherwise, the only other sacrifices that I'm seeing is you don't have the in-body image stabilization on the sensor. You just have digital stabilization. But overall, I'm enjoying the experience of this camera. I think it's nice and compact. A lot of people are going to enjoy it and really aid to their photography and content creation experience. But of course, we want to know, what do you guys think of this X-T30 III, as well as the lens? Let us know in the comments below.
And what do you think about the direction that Fujifilm is going? Is it still a fun camera, classified as that? Make sure you follow us both on Instagram.
And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's been Dave and Evelyn from the Camera Store. We'll catch you again very soon.
Hey, thanks for sticking around and watching this episode on the brand new Fujifilm X-T30 III. If you want to check out more of our recent content, click up here. And if you're Canadian and want to shop local, check out thecamerastore.com down here.